So, hi guys, Nadia here with Thrive Again Thrift. Thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. So if you're new here, again, my name is Nadia. I am a part-time reseller, a single mom, a cancer survivor with a regular 9 to 5. So definitely just doing this, when I get a minute between all those other things. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about what has sold so far in January. Again, I've only been doing this for about 10 months. So this is my first January as a reseller. I hear it's very slow. And so if you're new to this, if this was like something that you wanted to do starting in 2025, wanted to let you know that it's to be expected, I guess, that it's going to be a little bit slow, but that doesn't mean that it's completely dead. So I have had sales. Hasn't been my best month so far, but actually hasn't been bad either. So I'll go over what those things that I've been selling are. Before we get into all of that, I just want to talk a little bit about myself because I haven't really introduced myself on this channel. Again, this is video number 4 for me, and I'm really going to be trying to do these more regularly because I do really enjoy them and I find them super helpful. I follow a ton of other folks who do this kind of thing and I've learned so much. And so I really just want to give that back. And, it's fun to talk about my passion, which is now reselling and thrifting. So about me, I'm a single mom. I got 2 young kids. I love to thrift. And it came to me to start reselling it actually came to me years ago, but I did not have time. I was not in the right headspace. I did not have the bandwidth to take on a side hustle. So I thought about it in 2019 and I started kind of looking into it, but then I never did anything with it. Never sold one thing other than personal items, which I've been doing that for, I don't know, since eBay was created like 20 years ago. And I've always been a thrifter, always been frugal. I used to coupon. I've always loved getting a deal. And so, yeah, I decided to take that, love for thrifting and see if I could make money out of it because I really do enjoy the hunt. About 10 months ago, I decided to try reselling. I kind of dove in deep, and one day I'll do a video just about how I started. Right or wrong, I feel like it's really gotten me to where I am now, and I've learned a lot. So just a little bit about Thrive Again Thrift and where that came from. So I am a cancer survivor and I'm thriving. I've been 5 years in remission. And I'm really happy that I'm able to say that. And so, yeah, thriving again, the clothes are thriving again, and that's kind of where it came from. But just so you know, there's a little backstory there. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me and kind of what I've been doing. And now let's get into what I've sold so far in January 2025. Okay, so I have my computer up behind my phone here. So if you see me kind of looking over here, I'm looking at my spreadsheet because I don't want to forget anything. So I'm just going to go through again what I've made or what I've sold so far in January. So I'm going to start here with this lamb's wool winter scarf. And I'm going to tell you guys what I paid for it, how much I'm earning, what it sold for, and all those things, where I found it, all the fun stuff. So this scarf, I love it. It caught my eye. I found it at the bins. It was laying right on top when I was waiting for the new rotation to come out. And at my bins, I don't know if it's this way everywhere, but you have to like put your hands up. You can't touch anything until they yell go. And so it was just sitting there in front of me. And I saw made in Scotland, 100% wool. So I was waiting for it. And then they said, go. I grabbed it. Nobody else seemed to be fighting for it or anything like that. But some of the keywords I used for this sale: kidcore, bright, Y2K, girlhood, of course, multicolor, colorful. And of course, something like this, it's a good fabric. You definitely want to mention that it's 100% wool. This one was, I'm looking at my notes here, pure new lamb's wool, and it was made in Scotland. So those are all cool things that a buyer would want to know and could even be searching for. Definitely the wool piece. I listed this for $20. It sold in 3 days on Depop, and it sold for $16 on an offer. So with my cost of goods that day at the bins, I had bought some toys for my kids. So the way I do my cost of goods at the bins, you know, obviously it's you pay by the pound. And if you don't know, the bins is the Goodwill outlet. But you pay by the pound. So I don't go and calculate like how much things weighed and all that. I just take the number of things I bought and how much I spent and divide it. And so everything came out to an average cost of $1.15. So this tie cost me $1.15. And so I made about $14 in profit. All right, next is Johnny Was. So I don't know what was going on this week. I'd never heard of Johnny Was until I started reselling. 2, I'd never found it. And then 1 week in December, I found 3 Johnny Wases. 2 Johnny Wases, is that a word? I don't know. 2 had flaws, and then 1 I purchased. And I kind of regret not purchasing the ones with flaws now that I saw how it did. So I purchased this. It was called the Tempertee Lorelei embroidered floral tunic. It was a size large, which is a great size for Johnny Was. I feel like, again, I've only sold 1, but I would think that this is a more mature brand, and large sizes would probably do better. So keywords I'd recommend, obviously boho, bohemian, hippie, peasant, flowy, billowy, but really this one, it's sold by the name Johnny Was. This one retailed for $373. I got this at a regular thrift store for $5.40. And I listed it for $80 within 5 days, got an offer for $70, which I accepted. So I made about $55 on that. Next is just a buy-sell trade. I took this to my local buy-sell trade. And I sold 9 pieces. All of them I paid cents for. Some of them were at the bin. Some of them I got when I first started reselling and didn't really know what I was looking for. So let's see here. I spent a total of $7.48 on this stuff. Half of this stuff was listed for about 10 months and half of it had never been listed. So it was just sitting in my death pile. So I decided to go ahead and take it. I earned again that $7.48 into 28. So I made about $20.52. So definitely recommend looking into your buy sell trade. If you have one in your area, it's easy. I mean, you're not going to make, you know, a living off of it, but it's a good resource or another good option to move your inventory. Next is this vintage kitty sweater. I didn't know that these things were in such demand until I watched a YouTube about them. So keywords: novelty, kitty, kitten, cat lady, let's see, retro, you know, quirky, funky, all of those things. It sold within 9 days on eBay. So this I listed for $40. I got an offer in those 9 days for $29, which I accepted. I paid $5.40 for this at the regular thrift, and I made a profit of about $18. So very quick turnaround, which is what I'm looking for when I'm sourcing. Next is this Carbon 38 macrame black tank top. I've sold Carbon 38 before and it did well. It's an expensive athletic brand, but it's more niche. I wouldn't say like pay up for it or anything like that. But I got this for $1. I have a thrift store here that if you've watched any of these videos, I've talked about it. It's more curated. So it's the outlet store for a buy sell trade. And so it's already curated to be, you know, more in demand styles. So I found this there and it was $1.08 with tax. So because I'd sold it before and I thought, you know, I'll try it again, see if it was a fluke or not, because the last one sold quickly also. So this one, keywords are kind of all the gym keywords, and I try to throw all of them in there. So athleisure, active, active wear, gym, exercise, fitness, moisture wicking, yoga, running, walk, I mean, like all that stuff. So I put all of that in there, workout, gym, listed it for $30. And I sold it for $18. So that was on an offer. So I made a little bit less than I would have liked, and it took 38 days to sell. So it's not terrible, but I only made $14 on that. So I don't know. I'll have to look back at the other one. I see if it really did do as well as I remember. Maybe because this was a tank top, and it was also a smaller size. I think, yeah, this is a size small. So, would I go running to pick this up? I don't know, probably not, but I mean, it was an easy list and I moved it pretty quickly in 38 days. So next here is these J. Crew corduroy straight leg pants. These were given to me. They were new with tags, so I listed them. They were a size 29 waist. Listed them for $35 and they sold for $25. And that was on Facebook Marketplace. So somebody came and picked those up. So that was super easy. Made $25 in profit there since I didn't have a cost of goods. No fees, really easy, no shipping, great sale. So that one sold within 34 days. So I want to show you also the bad buys. So I have included them in what sold. So this was a bad buy. I should not have bought it. It's these Bob's Skechers. They are called the Grateful Day, I'm guessing because it's tie-dye and Grateful Dead. They're a size 7.5 slip-ons. They took forever to sell. I got these in Minneapolis when I was visiting a friend. I know I bought them because I was just like excited to thrift with her, and I think I was just like enjoying myself. I shouldn't have bought them. One, I paid way too much for them. I paid like $7. And then I only landed up listing them. I think I started higher, but after 107 days, which is what it took to get those listed, I listed them for $20. And even with that, on an offer, sold them at $16. I made a whopping $5. So yeah, don't pay up for Bob's Skechers. I don't know what I was thinking. This was like 3 months into my resale journey and bad buy. All right, next are these Talbots Simply Flattering 5-pocket corduroy straight leg pant, also from my friend. So she gave me the almost identical pair from J. Crew and then also from Talbots. So this one had the tag removed, but they were in excellent condition. Again, cost of goods, totally free. And so I listed these because Talbots, it's not something I would necessarily pick up unless it was maybe more substantial, but it is a bread and butter piece. People know it. And so for me, it has sold. So I listed these for $25 and I sold them for $23.52. It's like that weird number that Macari does. So I sold these on Macari. And I made $22. So not bad. They sold within 32 days. So that was a good sale. All right, so next is this Sanrio McDonald's toy. This is from my personal collection. I used to collect a lot of Sanrio, mainly in high school. So I kept all this stuff. I never opened it. It was all like decorations in my teenage bedroom. Some of it I ended up giving to my kids, and I so regret that because I had stuff that I know now would have sold for good money. Instead I gave it to my kids and they destroyed it and didn't appreciate it, and they would have been fine with like the Temu Sanrio, but I digress. So this one made it. I hadn't given it to them before I started reselling, so I sold it. This one didn't make a ton. I mean, I listed it for $15. McDonald's toys, don't typically make a ton of money, but I mean, I turned really nothing into $12 in this case. Sold on Depop. I listed it for $15. It sold for $12. So after fees, I made about, $11. This one had 246 likes on Depop. So anybody who sells on Depop knows that that's a lot of likes and a lot of offers for a lot of people that aren't going to buy it. But it did sell eventually, and it took 48 days. Next, I thought this was so cute. I was so excited to find it at the bins. And somebody loved it and bought it within 8 days. So this is vintage Y2K. Well, one piece is and one piece isn't. So again, I found this at the bins. I didn't find them in the same bin, but I purchased them on the same day with the intention of bundling them together. So that crochet halter is from Say What. I would have purchased that for sure. I only purchased the other item, which is probably from like Amazon or Shein or something. It's not Shein. It didn't have the Shein tag, but it's something like that because it just had like that made in China plastic tag. So I wouldn't have purchased that if I didn't have the halter to go with it. But I thought they were the same size and I thought they would do well together. And basically it's like you're getting a freebie. Each of them cost me 42 cents. So all in, I was at 84 cents. I ended up selling it for, let's say I listed it for 30 and somebody made me an offer for 23, which I accepted, again, within 8 days. So I made $21 off that 84 cents. So definitely not bad. Y2K still hot. Okay, next is this Disneyland Resort Spirit jersey. So this was a size medium. And so with Disney, the stuff from the park sells great. And so when I saw this, immediately I snatched it up. It doesn't retail for a ton. I think when I looked it up, it retailed for about $70. But it sells really well. It for $50 and it sold within 16 days on Mercari. They made me an offer for $40 and I accepted that. And I got that offer right after the fee changes. So I did have a fee of about $5. So I ended up making $31 on this sale. I paid at the regular thrift for this one, $4.33. So with Disney stuff, you know, again, you want to look for stuff that's from the parks. You want to make sure you have the right name, the style number if possible. Again, this was the Spirit jersey and it was a knit Spirit jersey, which was important because a lot of them are more like a sweatshirt, like what I'm wearing. This one was like a sweater. So yeah, really happy with that sale. And it sold again within 16 days. To show you the good with the bad. So this is one I purchased a long time ago. Would not purchase it today. It's from Francesca. And I had it listed for 18. I think it was an old listing because that sounds really high to me. It took 60 days to sell, which actually, I mean, it's not terrible. I think it was in my death pile because I didn't get it 2 months ago. I got it like 10 months ago. But I listed it apparently 2 months ago and it sold for a whopping $7. But what I used to do when I first started, I really don't do it anymore, is I would buy bundles from Facebook Marketplace. So from other resellers, I assume, or one lady just like got a ton of clothes, I don't know from where, but then she wouldn't even like clean them. She wouldn't go through any of them. She would just sell you the bag. And that one actually ended up being the best, but that's a long story for another day. This one, I ended up spending on average from this bundle 67 cents per piece. So I made $4.40. So, whoop. But hey, it's better than nothing and I was learning. Next, I also purchased this pretty early in my resale journey. I was kind of surprised it took so long. I had it listed for 177 days. So, I don't know. I'm guessing it's the colors. Obviously vintage, especially like eclectic vintage like this. You know, it's not bread and butter. It's going to take a special buyer who appreciates this aesthetic. So it took a long time, 177 days. I had it listed for $25, which is, I thought was low because it's 100% silk and vintage, but on Depop, I had it for 25 because I just wanted it gone. And so I ended up getting an offer for $14 and I accepted that with Depop's small fee and my cost of goods at $3.25. I ended up making about $10 on this. So not a great buy. I got a lot of likes on it, but again, you know, took forever to sell and it didn't end up selling for a whole lot. But some of the keywords I used for it, hipster, festival, retro, all over print, grandma core, funky, eclectic, because it had silk, of course, or it was 100% silk. I pointed that out and yeah, it still took that long. Oh, and patchwork, because patchwork's very trendy. I've had American Eagle, you know, pieces that were patchwork sell for more than this silk jacket. So I don't know, it happens. Next, this was another bins find. This is a bucket jacket from Urban Outfitters. So it was called the Jane Frayed Patchwork Bucket Hat. So just speaking of patchwork, I guess this is a better example of patchwork that actually sells fast because this sold within 5 days. So I knew I wasn't going to get much for this, but it was an easy list. You know, you don't have to measure hats. So, I mean, I took a few pictures. I threw it up there. It took 5 days to sell. So I listed it for 15. Somebody purchased it for 12. So I made $9 with my cost of goods, again, at 42 cents. I regretted buying this after I purchased it, but obviously now I'm glad I did because it sold within 2 days. And now I'm wondering if I should have listed it higher, but I did look up the comps and I listed it what I thought it would sell at, which was $18 for this Denim and Supply Ralph Lauren boho top. So Denim and Supply, it's a diffusion line from Ralph Lauren and it's not around anymore. And when I looked up the comps, I mean, I didn't see anything like for a blouse like this that would warrant me to think it was going to sell super fast or that I should list it for higher. So I don't know. It might have just been a fluke, but it sold in 2 days on Poshmark, and it sold for $14. So I made about $10 because again, I got this at the bins for, on this day, it was $1.15. All right, so last, I just wanted to show you again, the bad with the good. I sold these things on Mercari. So 4 items in 1 day on Mercari, like 2 days after they changed the fee structure. So I thought that was really interesting, and tell me in the comments if you're having the same experience because I really didn't sell much on Mercari. I had just started promoting on Mercari. You know, you go in there and with your listings, you can click promote and you can make your offers. Mercari does not make it easy to make offers because once you make an offer to one person, the next person that gets it, you have to wait like 3 days before you can even make them an offer. And then when you do finally make them an offer, it has to be 10% lower or 5% lower than the first offer. So person A gets 10%, person B, they don't even get 10%, they get 15%. So that's why I don't like messing with Mercari, but I use Vendu and it's literally a click of a button. So I do list on there. I just don't do a lot on there. But after the fee changes, I got 5 sales in 2 days, these 4 being on 1 day. So none of them were substantial, you know, and I'm not going to go through every piece. I didn't make a ton on any of these, but I mean, I'm shocked that they sold. I'd had them a long time. Again, purchases from when I first started. Now this Tommy Hilfiger satin blouse, that one was mine. I bought it I thrifted it a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And I loved it. I used to wear it all the time, but now I don't work in an office, so I never wear it. So I decided to just go ahead and list it. So I had it listed for 25 and I actually, I let it go for 10, which is lower than I would have liked. But it was a repeat customer, my first repeat customer from Mercari. Actually my first repeat customer from any of the platforms so far. I do have repeat customers that purchase things through Facebook Marketplace because they live near me and they like, I guess, my stuff. But this is my first repeat customer online. So I was excited about that and just thankful that they came back. And the first time they purchased a men's jacket and this time they purchased this women's Tommy Hilfiger satin blouse. So I accepted their offer for $10. But yeah, interesting experience on Mercari. So I made a profit of these about $27. So hey, I mean, that's $27 I didn't have before. But I've sold so far in January. Again, from what I hear, it's a slower reselling month. It hasn't been terrible for me. I mean, I have been selling mostly older inventory, which I'm glad. I mean, I'm ready to get rid of it and move it out and make space for new stuff. So my goals for 2025, I want to put it out there in the universe and say it publicly. You know, I am trying to purchase better things. So I've learned a lot. I've learned about a lot of brands. I didn't know brands other than what probably everybody knows, like Gucci, Prada, Louis. I didn't know all these niche brands because I don't buy stuff like that. I shop at Target and Old Navy and thrift. So when I was shopping for myself personally, I didn't know anything about these brands. I've had to learn. I've watched a lot of YouTubes. If you're new, I would totally recommend doing that. Looking at brands lists, looking at what people have sold, looking up comps. You know, eBay has a research feature that's really good, and you can really look things up there. So for 2025, I hope that as the year progresses and I get some of my new finds listed, that my profits will be better and I'll have more exciting things to show you. Again, I'm still moving old inventory out, and I've already done the work for it, so I have it listed. So if you do go to any of my my sell pages, you'll see things that are lower priced, and they will be there until they sell. But going forward, I am trying to aim for things that I can list for at least $25. So, and I did notice in, you know, just in these last couple of weeks that a lot of those new items, they've been selling fast. So, I'm proud of that. But yeah, that's what I've sold, about 20 items so far for the month. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. And until then, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.